For joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. Every Monday, we are live with you right here on YouTube to hang out and talk about the most important thing in the whole wide world, which, of course, is going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. And when we're not live here, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And I'm also here to answer as many Royal Caribbean cruise questions as I can, starting with the most important question. How many days till your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Have a countdown in chat. Let's count down together. I am at 20, so 10, 20 days till the Mariner of the Seas Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise. Cannot wait for that. So excited. Ready for it, man. I'm jonesing for a cruise right now, I got to tell you. I'm just, it's an itch that I just can't scratch, my friends. Don Goldstein, 20 days. You're definitely going, Don. Good to see you here. Welcome. I saw Josh Carruthers was in chat earlier. I see lots of friends. Eddie, hello. Jamie, hello. Ron Ladowski in the chat as well. Ron coming down to the December Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise. Can't wait for that. Josh, thank you for the super chat. 20 days till the amazing Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise on Mariner. Here's a super chat for your new snorkeling gear. Woo! Thank you for the super chat. Definitely not buying snorkeling gear. I'll just use the existing ones. But we're here to answer your cruise. Thank you, Josh. As always, thank you. We're here to answer your Royal Caribbean cruise questions here. So let's answer as many of your questions in chat as we can. So please feel free to type your questions in chat. Marie is a new subscriber. Welcome, Marie. It is good to see you here. Welcome. So if you're wondering, I'm in a vacation home. Don't worry, not COVID, not anything like that. We're just redoing the floors as previously scheduled in our house. So we had to get out of the house. And so we're just 20 minutes down the street in a different place. The nice thing about living in Orlando is there is a plethora of places to stay if you have to get away for a little bit. So lots of countdowns in the chat. Awesome. Love that. SS is our first question in the chat. If you test positive and cannot cruise, what's Royal Caribbean's refund policy as of now for the cruise fare, taxes, and excursions beverage package? Great question. All refundable as cash, my friend. I just went through this, SS. I had to cancel my June 19th cruise on June 12th. It was in June on Serenade of the Seas. As you probably know, if you watch this channel, I had COVID, and so I wasn't able to go on the second sailing. Canceled, refunded, full refund. If you test positive, SS, within 14 days of your cruise, you or anybody in your party, you qualify for an automatic refund. It doesn't matter what cruise fare you got. It's all refunded to you. So it's an extremely generous policy, and that runs through at least sometime in 2023. So you've got a little bit of time there for that policy to remain in effect. Tom Hooley checking in from just left Nashville, Tennessee. Glad to hear that you got out of wherever it was in Indiana, my friend. Let's see here. I almost thought the missus kicked you out. No. Not quite. No. We're still on good talking terms there. Fan favorite, leaving out of Port Canaveral for the first time in September. Any port tips? I'll be driving over from Tampa. Any port tips for Port Canaveral? My only tip would be, I mean, you're driving from Tampa, so I'm guessing you're not staying the night before. There are hotels obviously near Port Canaveral in Cocoa Beach, but I generally find the pricing to be really high. I would say you could stay in Orlando, and there's many more hotels, and it can be actually much cheaper to stay there, but you're probably driving over. My only recommendation is just keep in mind, if you're coming over on 4, there is going to be a lot of traffic when you first get out of Tampa. And then you're like, I'm free. And then no, all of a sudden there is completely pointless traffic as soon as you approach Disney World on 4. But it'll clear out, and then you'll be good to go. Obviously, I would use, Google Maps and like that. But leave early in the morning. Give yourself plenty of time. There will be traffic along the way coming over from the west coast of Florida over there. So Purple Queen is going on Oasis in August. Nice. That is a great ship. Khadijah wants to know, if I get the basic internet package, I think you mean the surf package, will I be able to use Netflix and YouTube? No, you will not. It is blocked, so you will not be able to do video. It's just the surf package only allows you to basically do, email and basic social media. So you can go through your Facebook feed, right? Or even Twitter. But anytime there's a video in there, it won't load. Tri-State Killa, it's good to see you again. When you book air to sea, do they take care of the luggage From the airport. No, not inherently. No. When you book air to sea, you're just booking your airfare. It's no different tri-state killer than if you booked your airfare on your own through Expedia or something like that. There's no, that's not a program that's in there. So we've got a newbie in the house, Sunset Kiz1. Welcome. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Do I need to bring a hairdryer? I'm newbie to cruising. If your hair is anything like my wife's hair, the answer is yes. There is a hairdryer in the room. It's a very underpowered one. Most women, and I think by most, I think every single woman I've ever talked to has always commented to me they always bring their own hairdryer because it's underpowered. It's not the one they're used to, blah, blah, blah. So I would definitely recommend bringing your own hairdryer unless you don't obviously hairdry your hair or you have very, short hair or light hair. But yeah, it's like the most underpowered hairdryer of your life. So I would probably say, not being a woman or anybody who uses a hairdryer, but based on other people's recommendations, I would recommend bringing your own. Brandon wants to know, can MEI book my flight hotel along I think you mean your cruise as well, heading out on Wonder next year. So typically they can make recommendations for you, but they don't usually book flights or hotels. And the main reason for that is that neither of them, I know the airlines for sure do not provide any commission, so they don't pay them. And obviously MEI is not going to charge you a fee. MEI Travel, by the way, is our sponsored travel agency here at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So the answer is no. They generally just tell people to book. Now, obviously, if you book your airfare through Air to Sea, which is Royal Caribbean's airfare booking program, then yes, they can assist you with that. But otherwise, you're on your own. Keeping in mind, by the way, that actually reminds me of something else, Brandon. So not only can you book your airfare through Royal Caribbean, through Air to Sea, they also have relatively new, came out a month or two ago, the Royal Caribbean Hotels program, in which you can book your hotels through Royal Caribbean. And I believe in both scenarios, if you book it through Royal, that the travel agent can assist in that. So if you go that avenue, yes, you'll be able to. So that's actually, it's funny. I started off this question saying, no, you can't, Brandon. And then I said, well, actually, you can. And thank you for reminding me about that one. I hadn't thought about that. Bruce, thank you for the super chat, buddy. 26 days till our cruise in 70. They have a karaoke bar on board. Do you know if teens are allowed to sing? Sure. Yeah, it's not an adults only venue. So yeah, absolutely. Brian Anthony, thank you for the super chat. Just got off a lure. Worst dining room experience. Oh no, horrible kids club hours. Kids pool had drunken people around it. Royal Caribbean is not young, family friendly. I disagree with that last statement that Royal Caribbean is not young, family friendly. Now, obviously, I don't know what happened in the main dining room. I'm sorry to hear that. The horrible kids club hours. I mean, the kids club is open on sea days, 9 to 12, 2 to 5, and then 7 to 10. And then you can pay extra for them to stay from 10 to at least midnight. Depends. Some ships is to 2 a.m. I'm not sure why that was horrible, but it's always been very conducive for our family. But kid pools had drunken people around it. That's on the people that were around it, not Royal Caribbean. It's not. I mean, they're not going to create a solarium for kids like an adult. I mean, I don't know why adults would want to hang out by the kids' pool. It's not usually where the party is. So that one I got to put firmly on the people that are acting inappropriately over there. But again, I disagree with the idea that Royal Caribbean is not young, family friendly. I don't know what ship you were. Oh, we were on Allure of the Seas. I mean, the pool's pretty big. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sorry to hear that, Brian. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just here that I disagree with the last statement. I've been on cruises where things don't go perfectly, and I've been on cruises where there have been some people that have been annoying or, disruptive in some way or another. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that doesn't turn you off from Royal Caribbean. There's some great ships that are out there. I've cruised with my kids. I continue to cruise with my kids. And even when they were younger, 2 years old, 6 months old, 3 years old, I've had very positive experiences there. So I wouldn't let that turn you off. Here's my recommendation for you, honestly. I would use this. I know this is not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to make the cruise any better than it was or wasn't for you. But it's a learning opportunity to say, okay, well, now I know what I know. And I would recommend, obviously going into it with a different approach to some extent. Maybe, I can't speak for the dining room experience. So there's obviously a lesson learned there somewhere. Again, that's a longer conversation, obviously. But the kids club hours, that's the one that truly, objectively speaking, I disagree with. I don't know. I mean, it can't be 24 hours, obviously. And the fact they take breaks in the daytime is just for the staff to reset. It's only, 2 hours for lunch, 2 hours in the evening, and they're back open again. I've generally found that to be very accommodating. And, but again, I'm not here to tell you, Brian, how dare you say these things? I'm just here to tell you that there are some things that I say, that's strange. and some things I say I disagree with, but I hope this doesn't turn you off from it and you give it another chance. Like I said, I've taken my kids and many other families have traveled that have said great experiences on there. So I'm sorry to hear you had that experience. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. But I hope that you're able to cruise again with Royal Caribbean and give them another try. I think you'll find it to be better. Again, I don't know if this was your first cruise, but I generally find that, anytime you take your kids for the first time on a cruise, a bit of a learning curve because you cruise differently with kids than if you're by yourselves as adults. But again, I hope it doesn't turn you off from everything right there. So, Mr. Austin Sanders, any recommendations for December, January cruises? I mean, whichever one's timing of the year doesn't really matter much. I mean, the nice thing is almost a lot of the ships are over in the Caribbean because it is the winter season. So obviously Europe is out and some other venues, Alaska, no cruises as well. So there's a lot of ships in the Caribbean and, there's a lot of good choices that are out there. I would need more than just that. Janie Fleming. Janie, thank you for the super chat. I'm not part of your group cruise, but I'll be on Marin at the same time. I hope to get to see you. Yeah. And Janie, I haven't posted it yet, but we're going to have a schedule of events. And the majority of those events, like, I don't know, 85% of them are open to all guests. So you're able to join us there, even though you're not part of the group. So I want you to feel like you're welcome. My group cruises, the Royal Caribbean Blog group cruises are never, ever designed to be, oh, Janie, you didn't book with my travel agent. You can't hang out with us. You're not allowed to socialize with us. That's ridiculous. That's silly. And that's petty. I'm glad you have a great travel agent or you just booked it on your own. Either way, maybe next time you'll join us for it as part of the group. But in the meantime, please come hang out. We'd love to see you. So please, Janie, say hello if you see us on board, which I'm sure you will be, especially if you're in the pub in the evening. There's a good chance I will be in there. So, excuse me for all the sniffling over here. It's not the COVID stuff. My nose just started to run right now for no reason. Kayla, I was informed that my ocean view will be 50% blocked. Check the Royal Caribbean blog and didn't see any pictures from others' experiences. Do you know where I get more information? So I'm wondering did you book like a guarantee room? There are obstructed balconies. Typically, Kayla, what obstructed balconies refer to and again, I can't promise this will be your experience, but most obstructed balconies are balconies in which you walk out to your balcony, and if you were to look straight down, there's usually a lifeboat blocking the view. It's not to say you can't see the ocean. It's that you can't see the ocean if you look straight down. More like if you look over here, you'd still be able to see it. Again, it depends on I don't know what ship you're on. I can't comment necessarily on that. My best advice to you, Kayla, is just Google the ship name you're on and the room number. So like Allure of the Seas 7234, if that's your room number. I have no idea. And maybe you'll find some photos or videos there. When it comes to obstructed rooms, though, and views, it's going to be cheaper than a regular room. And still, you'll have a view that's out there. Don't feel like you've got a brick wall in front of you. You'll still be able to see out there. Most of the time, obstructed balconies tend to be a lifeboat in the way one way, not like directly in front of you. That'd be like 100% blocking, but more like it is basically, if you imagine where the horizon of your balcony is, the top of the balcony, it's right there, give or take. Again, I would search for some photos and get an idea of what they look like. Google's very good at that one. So I'm apologize there's nothing on Royal Caribbean blog, but yeah, I'm sorry to do this on camera. We'll turn the camera here for a second so you don't have to see this. Look, it's our living room. Okay, all good, all done. Let's see here. Cruise Vet, thank you for the super chat. Can you give a dining package for dummies explanation? Thinking of getting it, but confused how it works. Sure. And Cruise Vet, by the way, after this video, we have a video I put out, I don't know, about a month or two ago, all about the dining package. But essentially, you book the dining package. It provides you with X amount of meals. If you book the 3-night package, then there are 3. If you book unlimited, then it's unlimited. Essentially, you have to wait to get on board the ship, and then you can make reservations for these restaurants. And the dining package includes, if it's a cover charge restaurant like Chops or Giovanni's, then it's just covered. It includes the cover charge, and you're good to go. If it's a restaurant that has an a la carte pricing like a Zumi or Playmakers, you get a stipend per person. Yes, you can share it among each other. So if your significant other doesn't really eat that much, you can use their money, and anything you spend beyond that, you'd be on the hook for. If you have an unlimited dining package, then it's truly unlimited. If the restaurant is open, you may dine there, and you can dine at multiple restaurants each night. If you have the unlimited dining package, the 3-night package is just 3 restaurants. So that's the really basic stuff. But again, we have a video about the dining package here on our channel, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's see here. We have a lot of questions, guys, and I am so far behind in the chat. We got a super chat coming in from Boogeyman. Thank you, Boogeyman, for the super chat. My family and brothers will be staying in a grand suite, and me in a regular balcony. Will I be able to down in coastal kitchen with them? The answer is no. The suite benefits are only for suite guests, so the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. I'm sorry to tell you. Be the bearer of bad news on that one. So, let's see. Zach, any update on Utopia or Icon? Nothing to share. Michael Bailey talked about this the other day. I'm going to post about this, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday on Royal Caribbean Blog. But essentially, we'll probably get an update. It sounds like, based on what he said now, and this could change in September. But no other update really beyond that. Cruise Ian, what's going on, man? Going on Symphony on Saturday? Nice. If looking to book a 2024 Panama Canal group cruise, can I go to the next cruise and have it moved to Charlotte, or do I need to go straight up through MEI for group cruises? No, you can do both. You can do either one. You could go to next cruise and just tell them, hey, I want to use my travel agent, which is MEI, Charlotte at MEI Travel. And if they're already on your reservation cruising, like you booked your cruise through Charlotte already, then they'll automatically be able to attribute it to her. So yeah, if you would book this cruise on your own and it's not attributed there, you could just book it and then immediately transfer it. But if you already, if when you go on Symphony on Saturday and you book that cruise through Charlotte, when you go to next cruise, just say, hey, when I book this cruise, I want to attribute it back to my travel agent. And that should be no problem at all right there. Keep in mind, by the way, the other thing I would do, Ian, is I would talk to Charlotte now, maybe not after this video. Let her know what you're planning on doing, because with group space, a group reservation versus a non-group, there can be a little bit of it's paperwork for Charlotte, basically. But if she knows about it ahead of time, she can definitely direct you on the right thing. But the very, 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 very basic is, yes, you can book it through next cruise, and then Charlotte will be able to take control of it. So, and by the way, if you book it on your own without Charlotte, like, whatever, and you want to transfer it, you need to do the transfer within 30 days. So when you get home, get that paperwork filled out. Nick, thank you for the super chat. Booked yesterday for September cruise on Allure. Nice. Any suggestions for cheaper airfare? Good Lord, it's expensive. Yeah, I'm not the biggest airfare expert that's out there. Airfare in general is just expensive right now. This is just across the board, everything that's out there. The pricing strategies are, you can wait closer to I don't think we're quite 6 weeks out yet. You might wait a little bit longer. Look at alternative airports. You're going on Allure, so that's Fort Lauderdale. Don't forget, you could fly into Miami. You could fly into West Palm Beach. Those are alternative airports in which you may be able to find a much better deal. And the drive is negligibly, it's within half an hour of Fort Lauderdale. So keep that in mind as one idea. Try doing fly in a day or two early. Maybe you'll be able to get a really good deal on airfare. Yes, you'll have to pay for a hotel, but it may work itself out in that regard. The thing though with waiting to book your airfare is there's no guarantees. Again, airfare pricing is just high in general. So obviously the last thing you want to do is spend more on it. So it's gonna be a bit of a gut check. It's a little bit of a game, but I would check the alternative airports. That's the best strategy I can recommend, because there's just not that many secrets when it comes to booking airfare, especially these days. Dodie, thank you for the super chat. They can take the 417 to the airport. School bus drivers know all the shortcuts. There you go. I don't know what we're talking about that before, but anyway, this absolutely true. Let's see here. To end, I think. Any tips or things to pay attention to sailing out of Galveston? I'm going out of Galveston myself for the first time since 2014 in November, so I'll be there. If at all possible, you want to fly into Hobby. There's two airports in Houston. There's Houston International, which is IAH, and there's Houston Hobby, which I think Southwest mostly flies into. Hobby is much closer to Galveston. You can save about 15 minutes or so, if not more. So if you can do that, great. If not, it's not the end of the world to fly into, Houston International. I'm flying into Houston International. So it's totally fine there. But, I guess what I'm going to tell you, you're going in June 23. So here's what I would say. Ask me this exact question again in December, because this cruise is in November. So in November or December, after I get back, I'll have much better firsthand information for you to give you. And that should you'll have plenty of time to plan that out, give you your cruises in June 2023. Brittany, I have the Arawak Aqua Park excursion in Labadee. Do you or anyone else know how much locker rental cost? I thought it's complimentary. I know they're complimentary in CocoCay. And I can't promise you that they don't cost money in Labadee, but I thought they were complimentary already. I'd have to, maybe someone in our chat definitively knows that. Don wants to know, how do I test COVID for the pre-cruise check in July if I got COVID at the end of May? You want to do an antigen test, don't do a PCR. This is just in general, I would recommend that anyway. You probably, I mean, number one thing I would do, Don, your cruise is in what, July? I mean, are you still testing positive? Because, you know, that's quite a while separated. May was, you know, last month already. I mean, antigen tests usually are better at it. So I would, number one, I'd do an antigen test. Number two, I'd probably do an antigen test now just to verify that you're testing negative. And then that'll be fine. If you're still testing positive, that can be an issue. You could go the route of getting a certificate of recovery. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. You're gonna have to go to a doctor, get a certified letter, and you also need like proof that you tested positive on this date. Now you're testing and there are certain ports in the Caribbean that actually don't accept it. So for those ports, you wouldn't be able to get off the ship. I wouldn't recommend it as my primary thing. I'd use it as a super backup. But number one, don't do a PCR test, do an antigen test. I always recommend, as everybody in the chat knows, that was just the door, an at-home test through a place like emed.com. Super simple. But I would just I would do the rapid antigen test, and hopefully by the time, especially by you get to July, you're not testing positive still. So Frank has got our next question for us. First time traveler in July, traveling with 4 teens, also new to cruises. What are some fun things to do with the kids? I mean, I don't know what ship you're on, but all the activities, rock climbing, I don't know what ship you're on, but there's rock climbing on, maybe there's water slides. Look in the activities. So in the cruise compass, every day of the cruise, there'll be a list of activities in there, Frank. And I would say that's a good idea. Also, if you have teens, sign them up for the teen club. Go on make sure they go on the first day. It's like the first day of school. Everyone makes all their friends on the first day. There's activities for them in the teens club every day of the cruise. So that's something else to take in mind. Alicia, thank you for our super chat. I'm back going on my first cruise in November. I learned so much from your lives and blogs. Just want to say thank you. Well, thank you, Alicia. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your generosity. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, listen, the goal of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com is to help everybody have a better Royal Caribbean cruise. I'm so glad to hear that this has been helpful. This is not just me making dumb jokes from time to time. Let's see here. Bill is we're on a Royal Caribbean cruise in September out of Haifa. Have you ever had an experience on this cruise? I've not. I've been to Israel many times. I've never cruised out of Israel. But you're going to, actually, you know what's interesting, Bill? You're probably going to Greece, right? Maybe Turkey. Not the same thing. But we actually have our YouTube editor, Jenna, is on board Rhapsody of the Seas right now. She just got on today, I think. And she's sailing the Eastern Mediterranean. She's going to Greece and things like that. So there may be some opportunities there. It's on Rhapsody of the Seas to learn more about your itinerary a little bit. So that'll be on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com every day starting tomorrow morning. There'll be a new live blog post in which she documents what she's doing. You may find that helpful, Bill, in your preparation. So one recommendation, Bill, when you're in Israel before your cruise, get a falafel sandwich from one of the stores on the, don't go to a restaurant. I mean, it's probably fine at a restaurant, but get like one of those, like you walk down the street, and there's a little shack, or not shack, but a stand. Get a falafel sandwich. You'll thank me later. It's amazing. Amy says, do we take the PCR, I think, COVID test by yourself before we arrive at the ship, or do you do it upon embarkation? Good question, Amy. So you need to do it before your cruise, and don't do a PCR test, as I mentioned earlier to Frank, I think we were talking to, whoever it was. Do a rapid antigen test, Amy. You got to do it up to 2 days before your cruise. Number one, antigen tests come back in like less than an hour, so it's a lot faster. And number two, they tend to be cheaper anyway than a PCR test and more readily available. So you just need to be a proctored one, Amy. You can go to CVS or Walgreens. Excuse me. You can go to my favorite ones to do are the ones from emed.com, where you just do them at home. They're over video. It's super simple. So yeah, make sure you get the right test over there. And up to 2 days before your cruise, not counting the day you sail. So if your cruise leaves on a Saturday, then you can do your test on either Friday or Thursday. Keith, are all the food options like CocoCay complimentary? Almost all of them. There is at Captain Jack's, there is wings and fries that cost extra. I don't think it's really worth going for, quite frankly. I mean, they're good, but I wouldn't spend the money on them. There's plenty of complimentary food on the island. And of course, as you probably know, there's a separate admission into the Cocoa Beach Club, so that costs extra. But all the other food is included. You know, Snack Shack, Skipper's Grill, Captain's Grill, all included. Plenty of free food at CocoCay, and it's really good as well. So, yep. Mike Jones, thank you for the super chat. Mike, I don't see a message from you, but I will keep an eye out for. Oh, Mike Jones says leaving Thursday for Bermuda, etc. All right. Have a great time, man. I hope you have a great time. Andrew, and thank you for the super chat. Andrew, thank you for the super chat as well. Is there self-serve ice cream on board? Yes, there is. Our YouTube editor, Jenna, can attest to this. I remember we were on Wonder this season. I'm walking with somebody, and I'm like, yeah, Jenna does such a great job. And then I turn the corner, and Jenna is sitting there taking a break, eating ice cream. And I was like, Jenna, what am I paying you for now? I mean, I was joking because obviously she was working hard. I just caught her in like the 1 37-second break she took to get a thing of ice cream. But usually on most ships, there is a soft serve ice cream right on the pool deck. It's open not 24 hours, but it's open most hours of the day. And it's, by the cone, and you can get as many times as you want. And then there's always complimentary ice cream in the dining room, so as well, and the Windjammer. So you can get, there's plenty of ice cream on board the ship. Footprints of Inspiration. Yeah, you do, man. You got to join us for it. We'd love to have you on board one of our group cruises. More information about the group cruises over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/events. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Andrew, but thank you. I'll keep an eye out for it. Daniel, any talk of discontinuing pre-cruise testing? There's a new article right on the homepage of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com today talking about this. Michael Bailey, Royal Caribbean CEO, said, quote, it'll be at least a couple more months if it changes. So not anytime soon, Daniel. But there's an update on that and the vaccine requirements it's on the homepage of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, posted today. So check out that article, my friend. It's a shameless plug, but it's honestly the best. It's right from the horse's mouth. Terry, thank you for the super chat. Vision of the season, 31 days. Do my kids who are 15, 17 need to set up an account and download the app? They don't have to. No, you could do it on their behalf. They would want to do that if they wanted to use maybe the chat feature or something like that. But if they didn't want to, they don't have to. Let's put it that way, because you can manage the reservation, through there. I think it's a good idea for them to get the app anyway, because then they can use the digital cruise compass, that's in the app there for the events. But, maybe they don't want to do that. Let's see here. By the way, hello to Becky Menken from MEI Travel, whom I had lunch with earlier today. We were talking about the Mariner Group Cruise stuff. We got some good plans coming up. That's all I'll say. I almost dropped the ball on something there. Same Team Beat Drops. Thank you for the super chat. Symphony in 145 days. What is your favorite restraint on board? I don't think this is that kind of chat, my friend. I think you mean restaurant. Symphony of the Seas. My favorite restraint, I can't say on publicly. It's a family rated channel. But my favorite restaurant is Zumi Hibachi. What is your favorite thing to do at CocoCay with the family? I love getting a cabana. Maybe that's a little bougie of me to say, but I like the cabanas. Kids can play. I've got shade. Someone's bringing me drinks. It's like the perfect setup. So yeah. Oh, here's Andrew's question from the super chat. My question is, any tips for what to ask for your genie to make things extra special without being overbearing and a pain? Want to make our first Star Class experience special for my folks? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And I had the same question when I tried Star Class out with the genie, because there are Facebook groups out there, Andrew. Like there's a genie, and you can see every single request people have made. I feel like it sets you up for it sets up the wrong expectations, right? And I agree. You don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, can I please have like a Sweet 16 for my kids? I mean, you're doing it for your folks. I was going to say, ice cream social is a fun one to do. I would say this. Number one, have the genie set up a specialty restaurant meal on the balcony. That's a really fun thing to do. So pick out their favorite specialty restaurant, order the food from that restaurant, be delivered to the room, and set it up on the balcony. That's a really fun thing to do. I think that's a really cool thing. Obviously, any of the activities, I don't know if your folks want to do laser tag or water slides, but if they do, the genie can get them access to that as well. Those are always really fun. As I mentioned, the ice cream social, my kids did this and they loved it. They brought a whole tray of ice cream and toppings, and they absolutely loved it. So really, really good stuff there. Thank you, Andrew, again for the super chat earlier. Appreciate you. Sunset Kiss wants to know, can we text people on the Royal Caribbean app? You can, but it costs some money. It's $1.99 per person per day. So if you're going to get the internet package, you're better off just doing that and then using whatever texting app you want to use. But if you're saying, Matt, no one's getting the internet, I just want to be able to text, each other, then you could use the Royal Caribbean chat feature, which again will be $1.99 per person per day. And yes, everyone that is going to want to send and receive needs to pay for it. And it's for the whole cruise. You can't pick and choose like one day or this day or that. So yeah. Joel wants to know, are the casinos really back to smoking? They are indeed, my friend. They are indeed. Jay Pezzi 901, thank you for the super chat. My cruise is July 22nd, and I fly out on the 20th from Memphis. Is it okay for me to schedule my rapid test on the 19th before I leave home? No. So Jay Pezzi, your cruise is on the 22nd. That means you can take your test as a vaccinated adult on the 22nd. I wouldn't recommend that. But the 21st or the 20th, you cannot do the 19th. That will not work. So here are your options. You could do the COVID. You could schedule a CVS test in wherever your cruise leaves out of, Miami, Port Canaveral. That could be an option for you, number one. Number two, and this is what I would recommend you do instead, you go to emed.com, E-M-E-D, purchase the at-home test, bring the test with you. When you get to your hotel, wherever you're going, do the test from your hotel. It's super easy, super convenient, same amount of work as CVS without the driving. That's what I would do. But the 19th would be too early for you to do your test. Hans, what's up, man? Crown Loft Suites, which location do I prefer? The ones that overlook the ocean, not the ones that overlook the sports deck. The reason being, well, the ocean's a little prettier, but also the people in the sports deck can see into your balcony, which for some people bothers them. It bothers my wife. I don't really care, but the ocean-facing balcony, the ocean-facing Crown Loft Suites are definitely the right play right there. So, next question is from MF. Which Royal Caribbean ship has the same type of solarium as Odyssey? Any of the Quantum class ships. So, Quantum, Anthem, Ovation, Spectrum of the Seas. Those are the ones right there. Steve, what can you tell us about the vegan food options? I bring my own vegan cheese. You could bring your own vegan cheese. There are actually a surprising amount of vegan options. Jenna wrote a great article on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Steve, if you search go to Google and type, Royal Caribbean Blog vegan, I bet you're going to find the article. It's a guide to vegetarian and vegan dining on Royal Caribbean. That article, I think, will really help you out. If you can't find it, just send me a message on Facebook or email me, Matt@RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and I can send you the link to it. But there's actually the main dining room has a special vegan menu, and they can also curate some other options for you as well. But generally speaking, their vegan support option is really good. Now, obviously, you can bring your own cheese if you want to be able to sprinkle it on there. They can't prepare it. They can't bring it in the kitchen and use it. But if you want to be like, hey, it's just, boy, this veggie burger would be great with a piece of vegan cheese. Sure, you could do that. I mean, no one's going to stop you from doing that. Just make sure it's packaged. That's the only thing. Let's see here. Adam Klein wants to know, if my passport doesn't get to me before my cruise, do I have an alternative option to present at the ship? Adam, if you are an American citizen cruising out of a American port, U.S. port, on a closed loop sailing, which means a cruise that begins in one port in the U.S. and returns at the same port in the U.S., you can cruise alternatively with a birth certificate, the original birth certificate with a raised seal, and a state-issued ID. You could do that as well if you didn't get your passport back in time. Slow Runner, what's up, man? Good to see you. With RoyalUp, would the bid be a single amount, or is per person, or even per day? It's per person, but for only up to the first two people, and you'll see you bid. It's for two people in the room, and then they give you the final amount over there. So, yep. What is my favorite excursion in Alaska? Definitely going to Mendenhall Glacier. So however you want to get there, I recommend just taking a taxi, or there's a public bus you could take. Mendenhall Glacier Park. It's absolutely beautiful. Take the hike to Nugget Halls. Don't worry. You hear hike, and you're thinking, I'm not a hiker, Matt. Neither am I. It's paved. It's easy. There's like no incline at all. It's beautiful and amazing. You'll come back and you'll thank me later. It's amazing. So Mendenhall Glacier Park, Nugget Falls Trail. Do that. You'll love it. Let's see here. Yeah, Matt, they're not bringing back the quest. They're planning to bring back the quest eventually, but when eventually is, we still don't know on that one. So, hey, just notice there's a mirror behind me. Hello. Susan Westfall, who will be cruising within 20 days. Where can we buy the Mariner Group Cruise t-shirts? I don't see them on the regular blog merch site. Yeah, unfortunately, the merch site got a little weird. There's two of them, long story short. But if you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, Susan, on the right sidebar, there's a link to it. It says Royal Caribbean Blog merch. Just click on that one. If you can't find it, Susan, you have my Facebook. Just send me a message. I will send you the link after this video. But it's there. It's just maybe Josh has already sent it to you by now. But the link is there. I promise you. But it's on our. spreadsheet got a little weird there. I apologize for any confusion. But thank you for the very generous super chat, Susan. As always, looking forward to cruising together. Oh gosh, Becky is recommended staying at the haunted hotel in Galveston. No, friends don't let friends stay at haunted hotels. I'm just saying. So, Pamela says, I booked an interior room and now regret it. How does RoyalUp work? First, here's what I would do. Before you go down this avenue, call your travel agent and say, here, I even have a prop for this. You remember how I told you I want an interior room? I lied. First thing you want to do is see if you can book another room. You don't actually, if you're changing rooms, same sailing, same sail date, don't worry, you're not going to incur a change fee. You can if you're paying Royal Caribbean more money, they'll gladly take your money, and there may be a room available. This is what since you're not a fan of the interior, this is the primary thing I would start with, right? Now, if your cruise is like next week, this is not going to help you because there's probably no rooms available left, right? But that'd be number one. Number two, if you want to do RoyalUp, basically go to Royal Caribbean's website, and then there's a link towards the bottom for upgrades, and you basically put in your last name and your reservation number, and it gives you the upgrade options. You put a bid in. It's, by the way, they'll pick the room for you. You can't pick the room number. You tell them which categories you want to book on, what your bid is. It's reverse auction. So basically, you don't know what the going rate is. You don't know what anyone else bid, but you have an idea. They give you an idea, like literally a sliding scale of what to pick from. But again, just because there is a bidding option doesn't mean there's necessarily a room available. So that's why I'm saying, I know that you're probably like, what? Yeah, this is why I'm telling you. I would start off number one, contacting your travel agent and rebooking at a different room. Forget RoyalUp. I would go about it that way, especially since you regret it already. But here's what I'll tell you, Pam. Even if you have an interior room and you're stuck with it, you can still have a great time in an interior room. I mean, remember, how much time are you really going to spend in your cabin? You're going to get dressed, you're going to sleep, and you're going to shower. Other than that, you're out and about doing things. And there's a lot of folks in chat who love inside cabins who will tell you the exact same thing. So, all right, I am so far behind in the chat that I'm about to lose. Like, the chat is about to go past where I can there. What's the nicest cabin I've stayed in? Definitely the one of the suites I stayed in. The 2-bedroom AquaTheater suite on Wonder of the Seas was lovely. The one I've actually stayed, the Crown Loft suites on Harmony were really nice. I feel like I'm forgetting like one obvious one that I really we did a 2-bedroom grand suite on Odyssey of the Seas. That was really nice. I like that quite a bit. So, but it's hard to go wrong with most of the suites, you know. If you got a suite that has a genie, it's even better. Mom and Me Beauty, thank you for the super chat. 40 more days to Symphony of the Seas. Our cruise will be taking us to several stops in Mexico. Do we need pesos or do most shops take US dollars? All shops take US dollars. Don't worry about that at all. You don't need to do currency exchange. Theoretically, Mom and Me, you could, if you were to go to pesos, you might get a better exchange rate. You know, like when you go to a place and they charge you whatever they charge you, but it's not worth it. Trust me when I tell you that you'd be quivering. You'd be worried about like a couple of pennies here and there. It's just not worth it. Bring cash. Not to mention the fact that then you'd be stuck with pesos left over. So, yeah, bring cash or credit card and without an exchange fee. And I would just bring cash. Just bring cash. It's easy. Everybody takes it. No worries whatsoever. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Next super chat is from Zook LOL. Can I sit with my friends in the dinner in the Wonder of the Seas? So it depends on that's a very broad question. You probably don't think it is. Are you all in the same dining rotation? Are you all in traditional? Are you in my time? Are you in specialty? If you're basically, here's what you want to do. You want to link your reservations together. That'll take, if you link your reservations together and then you say, what does that mean? Or just tell your travel agent, I want to link my reservations together with so-and-so, and tell them to do the same thing. And then you can, theoretically, you should be able to sit together. If you're doing my time dining in the dining room, then that's already, you're good to go. So you just come together and do that. Especially dining, yeah, that'll be fine as well. But if you're in traditional dining where you're 5:30 or 8 o'clock, you need to have a linked reservations. Otherwise, they won't let you. It doesn't quite work that way. Mel47, thank you for the super chat. My family and I are looking to take a cruise onto Labadee. My father is from Haiti, and we're seeing mostly Jewel this season. What are your thoughts on that ship? Should we look at other ones? There's more ships that go to Labadee than Jewel. Like Explorer of the Seas goes there, Mariner of the Seas goes there. But Jewel's a Radiance Class ship. It's a classic cruise ship experience. Radiance Class. You know, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles as like Wonder or Odyssey or freedom, but it's still a good ship. I mean, I guess the question really is just, like, do you want a ship that has a full Broadway show? Do you want a ship that has a zip line? Do you want a ship that has water slides? Yeah, Jewel doesn't have any of those things. That doesn't mean it's a bad ship. It just means it's a different ship. So I like the Radiance class, but if you're new to cruising, or you're used to the big ships and that's kind of your jam, you like Oasis, you like Harmony, then it's going to be obvious. You might want to stay away from that particular one. But I have to sneeze. Hold on a second. I did have to sneeze. Basically, what I'm telling you is that it's not a mistake, but you have to understand what the ship has and what it doesn't have. That's the most important thing. Mel, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you. BDF Travels, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you. B-Duff? Well, I don't see it, B-Duff. I apologize, because I bet you might be just being really nice to give me a super chat. Well, thank you for the super chat. If I see a message from you, I will definitely highlight it, but I apologize for missing it if I do. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Sparkle with Glam, any signs of stopping COVID testing? Check out the home. We have an update at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com today. Go to the homepage. It's the second article over there. It's all about it. Check it out. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, homepage, second article down. Michael Bailey gave an update on cruise testing. Trucking Couple, thank you for the super chat. We're doing Rhapsody on Thanksgiving for Barbados. Was wondering if it's possible to take a cruise with Barbados as a stop and get off there. Wait, wondering if it's possible to take a cruise with Barbados as... Oh, do you mean like a cruise that visits Barbados but doesn't sail from Barbados? The answer is yes. Typically, cruises that go to the Southern Caribbean go to Barbados. The most common ones are ones that depart... The cruise departs from San Juan, Puerto Rico. But there are occasionally some longer sailings out of Miami that go to Barbados, or maybe Fort Lauderdale or something like that. So that sneeze never came, by the way. I just said it. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why I had to bring that up. But yes, there are some cruises that go to Barbados. Primarily the Southern Caribbean cruises out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, but there are some others that sail out of like Miami or Fort Lauderdale. So, yep. I appreciate everybody being here in chat. Welcome. My name is Matt. I'm from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. I'm trying to answer as many Royal Caribbean cruise questions in chat as I possibly can. So I'm going to try to get to as many as I can tonight. Dennis Orman, thank you for this. Thank you for the message. Do both of us buy the regular refreshment package? Nope. That rule is for the deluxe beverage package, but for the refreshment or the soda package, you can buy for either you, your wife, or neither, or one of the two. So no worries at all, Dennis. You don't have to buy your wife a drink package if you get the refreshment package, which is the non-alcoholic package. Good question. Let's see here. Jan is going on. Mariner of the Seas, do they have El Loco Fresh? I don't believe they do. We have a full video tour of Mariner of the Seas on our YouTube channel right here, Jan. You can see it all, see what's over there. I want to say they don't. Am I pretty confident on that? Navigator does. Pretty sure the answer is no. Pretty sure the answer is no. Boy, I should know. I'm going on the cruise ship in 20 days. But this is one of those situations, Jan, where I'm like, trying to remember if I had a burrito on a Mariner. I think the answer is no. I'm pretty sure the answer is no. But again, check out our YouTube tour of Mariner of the Seas, and you'll know for sure the answer to that question. It's right here on our channel. Kadeem, I think we answered this already, but I'll just answer it anyway. The quest is not returned yet. Nope. Does Harmony of the Seas accept offer non-dairy milkshakes? So like soy-based ones? I'm not aware of any. I'm not saying they don't. The answer is I have no idea. I've never heard of them doing this. I never asked for it either. So it's a simple I don't know, but I don't think so. If I had to guess, if I put money down, I'd say no, but I don't know that for certain because I've never asked myself. It would require them to have a non-dairy alternative, which I don't know what that is. Almond milk, I guess. But I've just never asked, so I don't know the answer to that one. Ron Ladowski, thank you for the super chat. I have an AquaTheater suite booked on Symphony. I've heard that can be noisy from the crew rehearsing, and sometimes this is true. I mean, there can be noise, yeah, but it's not like a party is outside your room and you're trying to sleep. They do their the rehearsals in the daytime. I've stayed, Ron, on an AquaTheater suite now twice, and both times it's never been an issue. If you're on your balcony, yeah, you might hear some music from time to time. Unless you're looking for a zen-like balcony experience, I don't think it'll be a problem at all for you. Maya is going to COVID test for a cruise departing out of Rome, Italy. If you're an American, Maya, this is what I would recommend doing. I would just buy one of the at-home tests, like the emed tests, emed.com, and bring it with you there. That way you don't have to worry too much about it. Otherwise, I'd recommend getting the test done in the airport. If you're flying into Rome, just Google Rome airport COVID test, schedule one ahead of time. That's what I would do if I were you. But I would really do the at-home test. That's like the primary one right there. So Takia wants to know, do you know if Royal Caribbean takes proof of vaccine that is not the actual vaccinating card? No, it's got to be the real card. So it's pretty easy to get a replacement, Takia. Depending on where you live, you can call your county health board. A lot of people have had a lot of luck just going to the place where your son got vaccinated, like the pharmacy, and like, hey, if your son is 20 years old, he can do this on his own. Hey, I got it vaccinated here last whatever. I lost my card. Can you issue me a new one? They usually can issue one there. So you need to get the card. Unfortunately, they need the CDC card. So yeah, get a new one issued there. But like, I've heard from plenty of people, Takia, that have been able to get replacements, again, from either the place they got. That's where I would start with. You could also maybe go to your county health board or something like that and go there if that doesn't work. But I've heard pretty good luck with people going back to the place they got their COVID test from, like the exact location, not a CVS, like the CVS you got his vaccination from. Let's see here. Lots of questions, guys. And I'm sorry I can't get to every single one. I'm trying my best to get to as many as we can. AD, thank you for the super chat. Took your advice from last year and I used a drink cup for the Windjam Air when I got the soft serve ice cream. Not a fan of the cones, probably just because I'm getting old. Hey, man, I love that strategy. Actually, that tip is not like a Matt original. Somebody told me that one time on a live stream, and I was like, that is genius. So basically what the tip is you go to the Windjammer, you get a cup for like water, dump the water out or drink it, whatever, or take an empty cup. Then take that cup and go to the ice cream, the soft serve on the pool deck, and just put it in there. And then you get, like a giant size ice cream instead of a little cone. And one more tip, if you take that ice cream and then go to the bar and get a shot of Bailey's, now you got a good afternoon right there. Seal Terror says, we're worried about COVID a little bit and considering travel protection. How does the 90% refund for canceling future cruise credit work? Good question. Now, number one, Seal Terror. Number one, if you were to contract COVID up to 14 days before your cruise, Royal Caribbean will give you a full refund off the bat. You don't have to go through travel insurance. So that's number one. Number two, even though I just told you that, you should still get travel insurance. I think everybody should get travel insurance, right? There's a lot of good reasons to get travel insurance, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with COVID. So keep that in, like, you could slip and fall and break your leg. I mean, that kind of, it's probably more likely, I hate to say it that way, that you'll slip and break your leg than get COVID, but just keep that in mind. But again, the only read the policy, whatever travel insurance policy you get. The answer to your question is it depends on the policy you get, because most policies have different rules about when you can qualify for a refund. So don't assume anything. Don't assume, oh, Matt, I bought travel insurance. It must cover if I decide to change my mind. Not necessarily. But again, if you get COVID or someone in your party has COVID up to 14 days before your cruise, Royal Caribbean will refund you 100% on that. And they do cover quite a bit of COVID relief once on board the ship. If you were to miss out on 3 days of your cruise because you tested positive on board, Royal Caribbean's already going to refund you that money back for the prorated refund for the time that you missed out on there. So there's a lot of moving parts that the Royal Caribbean does cover. But I think in general, COVID travel insurance rather is a really good idea. Just read the policy. Think about the scenarios you have in your mind. Look in the policy and maybe call them. Say, how would that work? Because the answer is I can't tell you. Not all travel insurance is the same, so I can't answer your question specifically about that. But you should be aware that Royal Caribbean does go above and beyond, in my opinion, with a lot of their refund policies based on that. So, I'm from Africa. I'd like to know if any visas for all the country's ports I'll be visiting, or just one American visa. I believe just one American visa for Caribbean cruises. Again, I don't know what country you're from, and I'm not sure if there are different rules for that. I'm not aware of that. But as far as I know, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but as far as I know, you would just need the visa to get in the U.S. When you go on Caribbean cruises, they never take your passport. The only country they've ever taken your passport to stamp separately from, obviously getting in the U.S. was Cuba. You can't go to Cuba right now anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not aware of that being an issue over there. Again, I'm not an expert on how this all works, but I've not heard of it. So my expectation would be you wouldn't need to worry about a visa except for getting into the U.S. But again, I in your particular scenario, I am not certain if that would still be the case, because I'm not an expert on international immigration and customs and all that stuff. But I would talk to a travel agent. That'd be my other recommendation, preferably one that's in your country that has done a fair amount of business with cruising. They might be a good resource for you on that. Sean Hill is on board the Freedom of the Seas now, loving the sunset view from the top. And instantly, everybody in chat is extremely jealous of you, my friend. Let's see here. We've got a question coming in from Luis. When can you check in the app? 45 days before your cruise is pretty much when that occurs. That was for somebody else. Sorry. Thank you for helping out that person, though. I appreciate it. And I appreciate a lot of the chat. A lot of the chat is helping each other out here, because I obviously can't get to every single question. So I appreciate that. Sleepless Nightmare Productions. What a name. Am I remembering correctly that you have said that a certain Crown and Anchor level, it's less expensive to buy your drink package instead of prepaying? At Diamond, and definitely Diamond Plus, it can be basically a wash, like more or less the same difference, because your Diamond benefit you have to wait to book on board the ship. The problem with booking on board the ship, if this matters to you, is that then you get the whole charge on your CPass account. So at the end of the cruise, you get a giant bill. I have always preferred to prepay, so that way, you're 3 months before your cruise, you book the drink package, that gets charged on your credit card that month. Now, fast forward 3 months later, all the charges from your cruise are on a different billing cycle. To me, I like that. Some people may not care about that, but if you're Diamond or Diamond Plus, it's more or less a wash with the discount. Definitely Diamond Plus. Diamond it can depend. But I would still write a little bit this way. I'm Diamond Plus. I still prepay my drink packages online for what it's worth. I still do it that way. So just keep that in mind. All right. Oh, boy, lots of questions, guys. I love this. Thank you so much for everybody's patience. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. We got to catch up with the super chats. We're running out of time here. Sorry. Darren Martell, I couldn't think of a question, but here's some money anyway. Thank you, my friend. Very generous of you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, Darren. Thanks for all you and the gang do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Phyllis, thank you for the super chat. And here's Phyllis's message. Doing my first cruise Friday with my family. It's safe for my teens to move around independently. We're on Freedom of the Seas. Safe as in, like, you're worried about them getting, like, mugged or attacked or something like that? Yeah, totally fine. I would, like, put it this way. There are not many places in this world I will let my kids, who are much younger than yours, Phyllis, my kids are 11 and 7. I would not think twice about, hey, they want to go get some snack from the cafe promenade. Sure, go down and get it. I think that's one of the safest places you can be, Phyllis. Obviously, as you know, full disclosure, I mean, there are risks with everything, right? I can't promise you anything. I'm not guaranteeing your kid's safety. No one can do that. But I certainly feel a lot more comfortable with my kids, going out on their own, to do something on a cruise ship than I do movie theaters, malls, almost everywhere else on land. So for what it's worth. But yes, I think it's generally a safe place on that. Thank you for your generosity. Let's see here. Sleepless Nightmare, thank you again for the super chat, but thank you for the super chat. Antoine, thoughts on the Explorer of the Seas? It's a Voyager class ship. It didn't get amplified, it didn't get upgrades like Voyager and Mariner and Navigator did, but still a great ship. I've always enjoyed them. So just yeah. The Google says no to El Loco Fresh on Mariner. See, I thought so. So thank you, Becky, for backing me up on that one. Hey, Smoky Bandit has a recommendation for that non-dairy milkshake. Just get soft serve and let it melt a few minutes. I think what you're talking about there, Smoky Bandit, is that the soft serve is it's not ice cream per se. It's the other one, frozen yogurt. That might be an option there. I don't know what the ingredients are. I can't promise that if they're vegan or if they truly have a true allergy to dairy. I might double check that first, but that's not a bad option if that is the case. Sean Hill, what's my favorite things to do on Freedom on Sea days? Water slides are fun. My favorite thing to do, honestly, I'm not a big pool deck guy. I'm not let's go spend all day in the pool deck. The solarium is always nice, though. I do enjoy that. But I would say if I was on Freedom of the Seas, first of all, a nap is my favorite sea day activity. Yeah, I'm clearly getting old, but I really love a good afternoon nap. I like trivia, nap. How about that? And with another trivia after that. I love the trivia on board Royal Caribbean cruise ships. I'm going to say trivia on board. There's some people who just fell asleep with my answer there, but it's the truth. I'm not going to pretend you're like, hey, I'm at the pool deck. Woo, spring break. I'm not that kind of guy at all. Not at all. Kathy Crandall, thank you for the super chat. Ovation of the season, 18 days. Lots of great tips. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kathy. Always appreciate your generosity. Very, very kind of you. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much. And Patience Boswell, thank you for the super chat. I am visually impaired and may need some assistance during check-in as I'll be juggling 2 kids with a lot of paperwork. Can Royal Caribbean help with this? I would imagine the answer is yes. There's a lot of folks who are in the cruise terminal when you're doing the check-in process. So my answer to you, I'm sure if you said, hey, I'm going to need a little more assistance there, they might be able to send you right to the kiosk, the desk that's behind where you do your check-in stuff, and they can help you with that. I'm sure they'll be accommodating with you on that. Just let them know ahead of time. My other recommendation, patients, if it's at all possible, to expedite the process, the check-in process, and make it as super easy or simple as possible. If you can, do all the check-in steps that you see in the Royal Caribbean app. So that's an option for you. If you can do that, or if someone can assist you with that at home, that would be that way you could there's less to do in the cruise terminal, which thus will make your life easier in general, right? But obviously that may not be possible depending on your situation, but I would imagine they'd be able to assist you. I just can't imagine they say, no, you're on your own, patience. Figure it out. I'm sure that if you ask nicely, I'm sure they can figure that out. Wu-Tang Live wants to know, what's the staffing situation on ships? I don't have numbers or anything like that, but I've heard very good things. And when we were on Serenade to the Seas, Wu-Tang Live, I was just on Serenade, as you all know, a couple weeks ago. I talked to a lot of the crew members. I asked them that question. So this is all anecdotal, right? This is not a scientific poll, but they would all tell me that they're short-staffed. But honestly, the experience is pretty good. They did a really good job of picking up the pace there. There was a great thread on our message boards at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com about Oasis of the Seas specifically. And there were like 4 or 5 people that came back from Oasis over the last 30 to 60 days. And they all said the same thing. Like, we had a great time. Yeah, they're short staffed, but it wasn't a problem. It wasn't, we didn't really detect it being a major issue. So that's good news right there, right, Wu-Tang? So, yeah. Joe, by the way, says you can get a soy smoothie from Vitality Cafe, assuming they're on a ship that has Vitality Cafe. Thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Rusio? Get my 16-year-old son get an ice cream to go or play at the arcade at Playmakers. Thanks for all the advice. My first cruise ever in October. Yeah, Playmakers is a la carte anyway. So the answer is yeah. That's no problem at all. I don't think you'll have an issue with that one bit. Shammy74, thank you for the super chat. I'm a new travel agent, but I've never cruised. What would you recommend be my first cruise? 7-night cruise on an Oasis or Quantum class ship. So 7-night cruise on Wonder, Harmony, Odyssey of the Seas. Those are all good choices. 7 nights, that way you have a good blend of sea days and port days. And you also, the reason I'm telling you to take an Oasis or Quantum class ship is so that you have a good, you have the latest and greatest Royal Caribbean has to offer. You can get a really good idea. Here is what Royal Caribbean advertises. This is what people expect. And then obviously there's many more ships to check out from there, but that is their latest and greatest and their best foot forward. So, yep. Who, me? Thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message here, but I will keep an eye out for it. Keith Rickman, what's up, man? Royal Caribbean CEO, that's Royal Caribbean Group CEO, Jason Liberty, is an amazing and compassionate man. He worked with me when my family and I were denied boarding on Oasis due to improper documentation. Royal is a great company that cares about its customers. That is awesome. What a great story. I'm sorry you ran into that situation. I'm glad they made it right. And I've not met Mr. Liberty yet, but I hopefully I'll be able to do so in an upcoming media sailing or something like that. But I'm really glad to hear that, man. That's awesome. We have a question from Justin. Was looking at doing a 4-day cruise with a friend in December on Independence of the Seas. How easy is it possible to do split payments or booking? Book with the travel agent, Justin. There's some MEI travel agents in our chat right now. Use MEI Travel. They'll make it so simple you won't even notice it's a problem at all. They'll handle it all. Super easy. So use a travel agent. That's the answer to your question. Yogurt is still there. Okay, this is when I tell you that I am not a doctor. So yeah, just Tony Diaz, naps in bed at 8:30. Yes to the naps, no to the see. That's why you take a nap, so you don't have to go to bed at 8:30. I'm just saying. Nisha, thank you for the super chat. If I had money in my teens green light, I think you see pass card, and put green light credit card. I'm sorry. I put money in it. This will limit his arcade overspending, right? I don't know what green light is. If you mean the C-Pass card, yes. Basically what you do, Nisha, 2 things. 1, you would disable charging privileges on the card. And then 2, you do this at guest services. Go to guest services and say, see my son here? Don't let him charge anything. And then you would put a certain amount of money on there, a credit, and then yes, you'd be able to do that. You actually can buy arcade credit. You don't have to do that. Forget that. Tell them no charging privilege. Actually, how would you do that? That might not work. Yeah, you're going to need the cash down there. But yeah, that's what I would do. You can also put daily limits on there, Nisha, on the CPass card, so that way he can. It's your son, right? You didn't say that. It's just teen. I don't want to assume it's a boy. Your teen, you could put a daily limit. Again, guest services can help you with that one. So let's see here. We have another super chat from Danny DiMatteo. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate your generosity, sir, as always. Good to see you here. Daniel with the super chat. From the UK, I'm going on my first cruise around the Caribbean in July. A little worried about the hurricane. What will happen if there is one? Not to worry. You're not going near one. The most common misconception, no offense, is that there's a hurricane. Oh boy, here we go. We're going to the hurricane. No. If there's a hurricane, you're not going anywhere near it, Daniel. Your ship is going to change itinerary. It could reverse the itinerary. Go in reverse order, so that way they can circumvent the storm. They may flip itineraries. Maybe instead of going western, you'll go eastern. You might go north. You might go south. They'll change the itinerary. You will not go near the hurricane. So don't worry about that at all. I go cruising during hurricane season all the time. The other good thing, by the way, makes you feel any better. July is not nearly the peak of hurricane season. That occurs later, between end of August and early October is really like where you really see more storms. July, relatively speaking, is a calmer time. That's not to say I'm not promising you that there's not going to be a storm, but it's less likely. It's not as busy a time for storms as it is later in the summer, and the fall. So don't sweat it. Well, you probably sweat because it's going to be hot, but don't worry about the hurricanes. You'll have a great time. I go all the time, and I'm going in July as well to put my money where my mouth is on that one. So, Kyle is newly engaged. Mazel tov. Congratulations. My fiance and I are planning on doing a destination wedding and a cruise honeymoon. No real plans, but excited nonetheless. It's awesome. It's a great idea. I did a honeymoon for a cruise on my honeymoon, and it's a great way to travel. I think you'll like it quite a bit. Josh Taylor, being from Galveston, we have limited options. Found a cruise that goes to Key West, Nassau, Bimini, CocoCay, and Cozumel. First time in the Bahamas, CocoCay. Best things to do in those ports. CocoCay, hang out, go to the beach. It's just a Royal Caribbean's private island, nothing to do in advance. Nassau, I'd book an excursion, maybe Blue Lagoon. Book Blue Lagoon. You might like that quite a bit, Josh. So, Todd, hello and welcome. Where's my? Oh, sorry, Keith. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the woo. Oh no. Wait, it's not a Ric Flair woo. What? It's a woo. You got messed up there, right, Keith? Thank you again, Keith, for your generosity. I appreciate it. B-Duff, yes, afternoon naps in inside cabins are the best. Dude, the perfect sea day. You wake up, have breakfast, like 11 o'clock, you take your first nap, wake up for lunch, have lunch, like 2, 3 o'clock, take another nap. Man, if you take 2 naps in one day, you feel like $1 million that night. I'm just saying. It's been done many times by myself. Absolutely love it. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm clicking on the wrong things over here. So, sorry. I'm just clicking all over the place over here. We have time for another question or two, guys. Then we're going to head on out here. I apologize for not getting to every single question. Dakota wants to know, is the main dining room worth it, or should you just go to specialty restaurants? I think they're both great. If you're doing a 7-night cruise, I'd do both. I'd buy like a 3-night dining package, or just book 1 or 2 specialty restaurants on your own and work them in. Excuse me. I'm getting choked up thinking about specialty restaurants. I would do both. I like the main dining room. I love specialty restaurants. So I'm not here to tell you should do one or the other. I think that's actually a mistake. I would do both. So that way you get a good and then you get a good blend. And then after that cruise, if you hate one or the other, you know which one to do there. But I like them both. Yeah, Travel Gluten-Free Podcast is a great recommendation. Always come in the day before your cruise, especially since flights are being canceled left and right. I couldn't agree more. I think, let me put it this way. I'm going to say this. It is a giant mistake to fly to your cruise destination the same day of your cruise. I don't care what time the flight is. I don't care if it's the first flight of the day. I don't care if the FlightAware tells you that it's like on-time rate is like 98%. You are playing with fire, especially right now. There's a lot more cancellations than there's been before. Come in at least a day ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time if you really want to play it safe. But do not fly on the same day of your cruise. Unfortunately, I see this mistake all the time, and I just shake my head because it was like, this is a preventable problem that you could have solved with a wonderful Holiday Inn Express stay. But you know, people's decisions at the end of the day, I can't control it. Cool. All right. Oh, we're gonna answer a couple more questions, guys. We're a little over time here, but you know, I want to make sure we get. I just feel so bad leaving so many questions behind. Todd, if you do the unlimited dining package, does that mean you can do both lunch and dinner at special restaurants? Yes. If the restaurant is open, you can dine there. Absolutely. Holly has a question for us from Sitka. Since you don't book excursions, suggestions for Sitka if you don't book excursions, Serenade in 6 days, I would just take the free shuttle downtown, walk around there. Number one, we actually have a Holly, a recommend. You can easily walk around. There's the Maritime Center, which is if you're downtown, you'll see signs for it. It's a very small town, but you can go see that's right on the harbor. It's absolutely beautiful over there. But check out our guide. If you Google Royal Caribbean blog Sitka, you'll find a couple of articles we've written about recommendations for what to do. There's always like good walking trails in Alaska, and they're not like crazy hikes. So that might be a good recommendation right there. Julie, you're flying up 3 days before your Alaska cruise. Not only is that a good suggestion, a good idea, like for, ensuring that a travel delay doesn't impact your ability to make the cruise, but more importantly, you're going to get adjusted to Pacific time a whole lot faster, or a lot easier, I should say. So you're not going to get on the ship and be like, at 8 o'clock, like full Tony Diaz asleep because you're super tired. Maybe, Tony would still be asleep, but my point is that 3 days, you will acclimate more to the time zone, be less jet lagged, which will really help you out in the long run. So, let's see here. Yeah, there's no ATV riding in CocoCay. That's correct. Arriving 4 days early makes it a fun trip. Listen, I don't think most people can do 4 days, but that would be an amazing trip right there. Absolutely. Phyllis, how many people per table in the main dining room? It depends on the dining room. Usually at least 8. Some dining rooms can handle, I've seen 10, maybe even 12. That's about the maximum that I've seen in the main dining room. But it does depend on the ship. Some of them have higher capacity than others right there. So, Danny DiMatteo again with a super chat. Thank you, Matt. You deserve 2 of these. I do not deserve 2 of them. But thank you, Danny. I really appreciate your generosity. Thank you. And Smokey Bandit, who was just in Sitka with me. Sitka has a neat tidal pool near the Maritime Center. If it's low tide, it's a neat walk. There you go. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Holly, you are very welcome. Avish says, you have said many times before that your favorite was Harmony. My question is, why Harmony, not Symphony? Harmony and Symphony were very similar. By the way, my new favorite ship is Wonder, so that makes you feel any better. Harmony and Symphony were so similar, and I thought the shows were better on Harmony, and I prefer Sabor. That personally, subjectively, I prefer Harmony. It's a subjective thing. Please don't read into that, Avish, that like, oh, Symphony sucks, or like it's a great ship. It just didn't stand out enough from Harmony that I was like, well, I like Harmony, so you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. And our last question of the day is from. I already answered that one. I went all the way down to the bottom of the chat. I got to scroll back up to find one. I already answered that one. Bermuda from Allie. Allie wants to know, what the heck should she do in Bermuda? Horseshoe Bay is where you want to go. Horseshoe Bay. It's the pink sand beach in Bermuda. It's absolutely beautiful. To get there, all you need to do is there's a public bus. I know it's weird because most ports I would tell you take the cab, but cabs are super expensive in Bermuda. Instead, just take this public bus. It picks you up right from the cruise terminal. There'll be a bunch of other tourists on there. Horseshoe Bay is where you want to go. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning. If you have another day, you might on Enchantment. I think maybe you're doing more than one day in Bermuda. I would then go to Hamilton, either Hamilton or St. George. Hamilton is more of a city, so you can do shopping, you can do dining. St. George is a city as well. And there's a little more cultural sites to see there. They both have their advantages, but I would do one of the two. There's ferries that will get you. What you want to do for Hamilton or St. George is take the ferry from where your cruise ship is to there. It's a really short ferry ride because Bermuda is very, very small. So there you go. Thank you to everybody for checking out our chat today. Really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Oh, we have actually one more question because NYC Lover for Life dropped the super chat in. Thank you, NYC Lover for Life. Getting choked up with the super chat. Thank you. Thanks for all the great information. What are you recommending for St. Thomas? I would recommend the Megan's Bay. And you think Starlink will be approved and up by the end of the year? Boy, I have no idea, man. That's a how fast can the U.S. government move? Not that fast. But we have tomorrow. We're gonna have an article with a full review of Starlink on Freedom of the Seas. We had Nicole was on there over the weekend. She tested it out. I know it's a hard test. Please go on a cruise and play with the internet for 3 days. Like, this is the hard work that the Royal Caribbean blog staff have to deal with. I'm quite the tyrant making them do this. And we have a full review of Starlink on Freedom. It's amazing. This is a spoiler alert on that one. Whether or not it's going to be up by the end of the year, the wheels of progress move slowly in the U.S. government. So I hope so. I would love for it. I don't think it'll be fleet wide. I think, honestly, in my heart of hearts, and I don't know anything more than you do. I don't know. Trust me when I say I have so little information on this, it would not make your head spin. I would say best case scenario, by the end of the year, it would be approved and you'd have it on a handful of ships. If it was on more than 5 ships by the end of the year, I'd be shocked, quite frankly. But again, I was shocked when it showed up on Freedom of the Seas very quickly for the test. So you never know. But thank you for the super chat, NYC Lover for Life. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to say thank you to all our super chatters today before we get going here. NYC Lover for Life. Oh, I can't because this thing broke. I can say thank you to NYC Lover for Life, Danny DiMatteo, Daniel Perman, and Danny again. I apologize. I'd like to say thank you to all our super chatters, but unfortunately it broke my little record of who gave me super chats. So, well, that stinks. I can say thank you to Nisha. Thank you, Nisha. Keith Rickman. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Who me? Thank you for the super chat. Shamey, thank you for the super chat. And Patience, thank you. Kathy Crandall, thank you. That's as far back as I can see. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My web browser broke on that one. Guys, have a great. We'll be back in next Monday from back in the studio as usual. Thank you so much. If I didn't get to your question, you can go post your question on our message boards at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com or wait till next Monday. We'll be back here again on YouTube. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Don and Judy feel better, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Good night, everyone.